Hello, amazing humans. Welcome back to Just Keep Sending. Thank you for being here. Today, I want to bring you this set of nightstand that I had to pivot because in prep stages, things didn't go as planned. And I'm sure if you've been doing furniture, you've been there as well. It's funny how after all the work I put in, the transformation is not really dramatic. So let's just dive right into it. I picked up this set for $40 on Facebook Marketplace. And to be honest, I was a little disappointed. I thought they were a little bit bigger, judging by the pictures, and I had just finished the Dixie Belle dresser and I had nothing to work on next, so this was the best thing that popped up on my market. The idea was to modernize them a little, with some black paint and a wood top and gold hardware. Zero investment, just using the products I have. Except for the top that had just a little bit damaged, the set was great. Tracks were perfect, there was no issues at all. Just the caps on the legs were missing, but that was not even a problem. To start, I removed the hardware and numbered the drawers as always. I didn't even clean until after. That's good, because between the two of them, I now have a set of 4. I wanted to see what was under that top, so I grabbed the scraper to lift some of that finish. As I suspected, there was a lot of particle board and a thin veneer, so I had to strip. Let me start with an eco-friendly tip, because I am right here, right? First of all, I don't think I'll be buying this stripper again. I don't really like it. It dries way too fast in the summer, and the cleanup is really disgusting. This type of cans with the spout in the middle don't really pour all the content out. So I made a hole on the side and finished opening it with the putty knife. This not only gets all the stripper from the inside, but also gives you the possibility of rinsing and putting it on the recycle bin, that otherwise it would not be possible. My second tip for today is I always use the same brush. I did this holder with tape and I put it on the side, so I store the brush there, and when it dries and gets hard, I don't have to throw it away, right? Because when the moment that the brush gets in contact with the stripper again, it softens. So I keep on reusing the same one and I don't have to dispose any brush. Back to the stripper. This one is very toxic. You can't see on the camera, but I am applying it with a respirator. I always have goggles and I should be wearing gloves, but I am not. Yeah, I'm already telling myself about that. Just because I am careful, and I can say I have practice and I feel confident that as long as I am using the putty knife, I am okay. My garage door is also wide open, so I am not really afraid of additional fumes. That is one of the reasons why I don't like stripper that much. The other reason is that in the summer, it dries way too fast and I have to be constantly reapplying. I recently found out that I don't really have to clean this stripper particularly with mineral spirits. I can just use soap and warm or hot water. And my non-recommended method, that is after cleaning it, I just let it fully dry for at least 24 hours, and if there is some residue, it will not gunk up the sander. As I said before, this is my non-recommended method. Don't do as I say. I'm just telling you what I do. When I work on nightstands, I like to put them like that, back to back, because I like to have them together to work on them. Or depending on what I'm doing, if I'm spraying, for example, if I need the top to be covered, I just put one on top of the other, like both tops facing each other, and that also is very helpful. Do you see that very first nightstand I stripped? Well, that finish was not even thick, and I had to apply 2 coats of it. So another against point on the stripper. See why I don't like it? I mean, I understand people like do, but I don't. So after applying that second coat of stripper, I went over with steel wool. I didn't use the 4-0 steel wool. I think this one was 3-0 because I made a mistake a long time ago and I bought that one and I have it, so I use it. It's gonna be painted, so I don't worry much about it, and I still have to sand, so the 3-0 was okay. Do you see that? I had to add stripper to scrap with the steel wool. That was already dry. And I'm looking at the footage and it hasn't been that long. It wasn't even 15 minutes and it was dry already. Again, I don't like stripper, but I have it and I'm not going to throw it away because that's part of my eco-friendly core. I removed with a rag that is disposable and I cleaned up the top after with some water as well and let it fully dry outside. But I'll let you see the end of the process on the stripper so you can see how much finish I removed in the end. I am so happy I'm looking at the footage right now because I completely forgot that I finished it up with a scraper. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I did because I was just checking to see how much more do I have to strip. There was still so much finish left. So much. And I was not going to do another round of stripper. Okay. So now that this is stripped and dry, I'm gonna sand. If I burn through the veneer, we're gonna do the fake Pottery Barn thing, but I'm gonna start with 150, and because most likely this is a very thin veneer. So once it is all sanded, that's when I'm gonna clean the drawers and the whole body. I can scuff sand everything else, and I'm going to stain the top first. I'm gonna use the tobacco, and then I'm going to prime and paint the rest of the body. So after stripping, I sanded the top, I flattened the water damage, and I sealed with shellac to not open up the pores more. I can't use a water-based primer when there are MDF pores open. Before reaching the MDF, when you're standing, you're gonna see like kind of a pinkish layer like you see in here, just for you to know that you are getting closer to the MDF and you probably should stop if you're planning to stain. This set just needed a little bit modernizing, and I wanted to square the legs, and for that I used the same legs. How to say that? That's weird, but yes, I used kind of like the structure of it to measure it, and I removed a little curve that was on the very front just to make it more square looking. And for that I removed the brace that was holding those two pieces together, and I just chopped it off with the Multitool. Of course, I sanded it after, and I filled it with Bondo in the parts that I felt like it was necessary, but it wasn't really because it was solid wood. I was going to use the only black paint I have left. That is the all-in-one licorice color, the Beyond paint, but I still wanted to see the imperfections on the wood, so after cleaning and sanding, I primed it with gray bonding balls, and I noticed if it needed some caulking on the seams, which actually it did. I also primed the top with clear bonding balls just because I had it and I wanted to try it. So the top was unsavable. No more staining. Yep. I pivoted and decided to go with the Pottery Barn inspiration technique that I did on the dresser a couple of weeks back. I'll link it here. But I didn't have beige or taupe for the base, so I went crazy. Yes, I mean, most of the time I do, but this time it was related to paint and I used gray as my base paint. In another crazy move, I wanted to try to spray Beyond paint because this set had a lot of curves and this paint is kind of like a putty-like consistency. I was afraid that it might not end up well if I was going to brush. I watched a few videos on how to spray Beyond paint and none of them had a setup gun like mine, mainly was like a home right. And as you can see here, that is splattering, means that or the tip is loose or your paint is too thick. So I actually went back and on my second coat of paint, I diluted it a little more. I made a mistake while I was spraying. I don't know, maybe I was distracted and I let the gun sit there for a little bit and I messed up that part. And luckily, or gracefully, I tagged Beyond Paint in one of my stories on Instagram and they responded and they were super nice about it. They gave me a few tips and the main is that it is recommended to use a 2mm tip for spraying and I use actually a 1.4. So yeah, rookie mistake. I will have it in mind for next time I do it. I want to say that the paint dried like factory finish. Like after spraying, I was impressed and in love. I was not expecting that smooth finish on this Beyond paint. Of course I didn't tape. Who do you think I am? Just sprayed with the piece upside down and then I used a cardboard to cover it. And let me tell you, that was good enough. I just taped the part that was actually hanging out of the main frame because that was where the black and the gray was overlapping. Just having the piece upside down and the cardboard was good enough. So there you go, another reason why I don't use tape. To do the top, I did like last time on the video I linked before. I started with Rust-Oleum Stain and Poly Combo in Early American and it dries pretty fast, so I was able to do 2 coats in no time. I am not going to go into details into this finish. I recommend you to watch that video that I linked before, or you can find in my channels. I don't have a lot of videos, so it might be the 3rd, 4th one around there, but I really recommend it because it's kind of like a different option to this finish that everyone is doing. And maybe these are things that you already have in your house. And also, I show how I failed and I learn from my mistakes, which is usually very good for others to see. So maybe you can, like, I don't know, troubleshoot your issues or things like that. I would like to share my fails. I feel like that's how I learn. And that's pretty much how everyone learns. We learn more from our failures than from our successes. We take our successes for granted. This color over the gray was looking really nice. I think I might try the gray base again. This has a second coat and this still has one. So this is a little bit more uniform and I am loving the strokes. I love everything about it, to be honest, and I did something different that I didn't do last time, and that is move everything out at the end with this dry 4 inches touch. instead of using the 4-inch brush. But I can do that because it's a small surface, okay? Do that. This is gonna be my last pass. I'm just gonna do 2 coats. Because last time, my coats were too thin and it took me forever. So, as we learn a lot from the last experience, I will probably touch up this with a toothbrush. I changed the plan and I used a dark walnut water-based stain to darken up the brush effect instead of using the gel stain. I finished with 1 coat of stain and poly combo and 2 coats of top coat because it already had some poly in it, with a little bit of sanding in between. The main benefit of using this water-based stain is that you don't need to wait the 72 hours for the gel stain to dry out to be able to top coat or to be able to apply another coat. So, well, actually, to apply another coat of gel stain, you just need 24 hours. But to apply a top coat, you need to wait 72 hours. So this was faster. Will I do it again? Oh yeah. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all my subscribers that have been following me with the videos and seeing these transformations. You really make my heart jump in joy. If you're not one, no worries. That can change right now. Just click that subscribe button. To modernize the hardware, I just cleaned it up and spray painted. I had some leftover wallpaper from the Hebel White Buffet, and needless to say, I had only 1 inch left on the roll after I finished the nightstands. That was a match made in heaven. And that was it. It was super simple. What do you think? Alright, let's give a refresh to all of you on how they used to look like before. And this is now. They turned out so moody, and I didn't have to buy any product. They sold in a few days after listing, and as the price itself was not what I expected, I wasn't really able to sell it for what I would have sold if this set was just a little bit bigger. So what do you think about this? It really doesn't look like I did much, but I already said that that is what was gonna happen. I feel like it's also soothing and simple to achieve at home for the beginner that might want to get a new look, but doing something simple, just change the top. Let me know in the comments what you think about the transformation. I am happy to read you and respond you. If you enjoyed the video and you want to like, share, and all the good stuff, I'll appreciate it. I am so pleased with the final results, another evidence that anything can be transformed with some love, paint, and just a little bit of skills. And remember, skills can be learned. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.